Why does it seem like every single new Facebook ad idea that you bring to the table just fails? All your new concepts cannot seem to beat past winners that you have on the account. Well, I want to talk about the split between ideation versus iterations that you should be making on an account and how to approach the fact that some new ideas are just never going to work. Now, if you're new to the channel, you don't yet know who I am. My name is Justin and I'm the founder at paidadvertising.com, where on the one side we help businesses implement a scalable ad engine, and on the other we grow e-com and info businesses to multi-seven figures with paid ads. In the last 12 months, we've had the pleasure of managing and advising on over $15 million in ad spend. And that said, let's get straight into today's video. Now, this video topic idea came after a client call that I had a couple of weeks ago, where I sat down with one of our clients and wanted to talk about, the split that we were doing or delivering, at least for this account, on iterations versus ideation. Now, I tend to, what time when you look into a lot of our clients, it's not every client that we work with that has a lot of past winning ads. Now, generally speaking, maybe 60% of our clientele has ran ads before. They've done, pretty good with ads and they just want to do better or scale further. 40% are either completely new to ads or ran ads before, but it really wasn't satisfactory results. So they pretty much have to build, like anything has to be new on top of that. So knowing that, and this is kind of a pattern I've had to let go of with the last year and a half, now that we've been growing accounts to, multiple 5 figures a day in terms of ad spend, we're in a spot where we also have to take care of iterations. Now, new businesses, smaller businesses, pretty much all of their time is spent focusing on ideation, creating net new concepts that the account hasn't seen yet, and every concept is different, far right idea from the other. So it requires a lot of, creative thinking, a lot of research. But the truth is, when you scale an account to a certain point, then you probably can look back and see a lot of winners on the account. And now the question begs, should I still do net new concepts, which is what got me here today? Or should I now start doing something different, right? Because a lot of people say what got you here won't necessarily get you there. So it's like, do I now pivot a lot to iterations? And I'll start by saying there's no right or wrong answer here, okay? There is, I think, some best practices or better practices than others. And so here's kind of what came about this conversation with this client. So what I would recommend is a gradual transitions to doing more iterations than ideation. So let me explain. If you've now grown your account to a point where you've ran ads for a couple of years, you now have a couple winners and you're getting, better and better results. You've ideated for a while. Okay. In fact, you've only ideated. You've only focused on making net new concepts. Real quick, my creative editing team at the ad agency uses this brand new tool called Magic, which helps us edit video ads much faster, utilizing AI to add captions to our videos, automatically add relevant B-roll, or cut longer form VSLs and video ads we make into shorter clips. So with that said, check out a link in the description down below to try Magic today and use code Lalonde for 10% off. Tomorrow morning, you don't want to just stop making net new concepts and then switching to all iterations, because then there's only going to be, those are only going to work for so long. It might be 6 months, it might be in a year, it might be in 2 years from now, but at some point you'll end up finding out that you don't have any more winning ads. Like you've siphoned all the juice out of your current winning ads. So what I typically recommend is a gradual process to move towards more iterations, where I would start, as an example, as a 50-50 split, which is what we spoke about with this client, saying, hey, we're currently delivering 4 concepts to you every week. Let's just now start to do 2 ideations, 2 iterations. So iterations help us kind of add security to the account, less volatility, right? Because the thing is, the more you ideate, the more volatile your ad account becomes, because you don't necessarily know for a fact if the new concepts you're launching are going to hit and actually become winners. Whereas the more you iterate, the more secure your account becomes. And I kind of see this like an investment portfolio, right? When you invest, do you want to put all your money into shit coins in the crypto market? Or do you want to put part of your money perhaps in Bitcoin or Ethereum, or even better, part of your money into the S&P 500 and then the rest to keep it for, high risk, potential high reward investments? It's pretty much the same thing here, right? So we don't want to put all of our eggs into iterations, which would give for a mere, stable return, but we also don't want to put everything back into ideations. So that being said, to kind of further prove this analogy, it's like, well, what is the surest way, or not surest way, but have you heard more stories of overnight millionaires that, had barely any money and put their last $1,000 into the S&P 500 who somehow magically 100x'd overnight? Or has that happened, much more frequently with those shit coins in the crypto market? The latter, right? The same thing with ads. It's like, have you seen someone dramatically suddenly scale their account by only doing iterations, or by finding a net new winning ad concept that now really allowed them to get to the next level with their account? The latter, right? So what I typically say is start with only ideations when you have a brand new business or when you have never really focused or never really found a lot of winning ads. Once you start to have more and more winning ads, then start to move to a 50-50 split, half winning ads, half iterations. And eventually you'll probably make your way to an 80-20 split where you're going to be spending a lot of your time, so 80% of your time focusing on iterations because you found a winning recipe for your business. So you'll make a lot more variations from those ads, and 20% perhaps focusing on ideation. So again, net new ad concepts. And what I mean by iterations, it depends on the creative type. But if I have a winning concept, so a winning combination of a mass market desire, awareness level, persona, name it, right? Winning variables that put together end up making a winning ad, then I can change the content creator if it's a UGC ad and keep the editing and the pacing and the rest pretty much the same. I can add a visual hook at the start of the video, right? So that way, again, it changes the first 3 seconds. Or I could just entirely change the first 3 seconds, right? I could record a new AI voiceover for the first couple of seconds of the video and just slap some existing B-roll that I have. So again, I can do a lot of hook testing on a video like this one. I can change my pacing or my editing style, change it from a 9:16 ad to more of a horizontal landscape ad, as an example. So tons of iterations you can make on a winning ad concept that will help you keep it alive for longer and keep kind of riding that wave for as long as you can. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this quick video and taken some notes about when, you should be focusing more on iterations versus ideations and to what percentage of your creative bandwidth should be allocated to both. Now, that said, if you made it all the way through and you are an e-commerce or info product business wanting to work with a paid ads partner on Meta, Google, or TikTok, check out the first link in the description down below to book in a call with our team and myself at paidadvertising.com. Or if you want to work one-on-one with me, have me review your ads, your funnel, backend, name it, check out a second link down below to join our Ad Engine one-on-one consulting program. On that note, go to wish you an amazing day. Check out other videos on the channel for some more useful marketing tips, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.